Welcome to Fine Woodworking News for March 15th, 2023. I'm Ben Strano, and look, I put my laptop over there so it's got a logo. Impressions. I had planned to do this video from the shop, but it's a wintry mix outside, and so here we are in my shop yet one more time. So last week I didn't do a Fine Woodworking News because there was like 4 things to talk about, and I posted a YouTube short explaining it. If you didn't see that, if there's not much to talk about, I'm not going to waste your time and my time talking about nothing. So if there's nothing on a given Wednesday, this week there's lots. And we're going to start with a rant. So in the past, it seems as though I've ended with a rant. Today we're going to start with a rant. And I just want to get this out there. Buy tools from someone who knows what they're selling you. Y'all? We got to stop doing this. Look at this description. Round wood stick punching tool. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're not dealing with a language barrier here. A language barrier is a very valid thing. This is having no idea what you're selling. Because yes, it is a round wood stick punching tool. But it's a dowel cutter. So buy things from someone who knows what they're selling to you. And in the same regard, look at this Amazon listing, 3/4 inch heavy duty pipe clamp, $46. How's a pipe clamp $46? I just don't get it. Well, that can't, $32. $32 for a pipe clamp. I know these pipe clamps. I have them. I bought them at Harbor Freight for probably like $8. I don't know what's going on, people. This is weird. This is weird to me. Look, pipe clamp, 3/4 inch pipe clamp from someone who knows what the heck they're selling you. $20.99 for a Bessie. That's a good pipe clamp. This is what I'm saying. So, I know there's a lot of people out there who cannot afford it. Get your woodworking on however which way you can. If you're starting off, if you're financially insecure, that's no reason to not woodwork at all. I get it. Buy the tools where you can. But if you can afford it, buy tools from someone who knows what they're selling you. So, speaking of Highland, knowing what they're selling you, don't think I've ever gotten choked up reading copy for an item before, but Naric's round tapered burnisher, based on the Stanley 185. There's a paragraph here about what's so great about the Stanley 185 and this Naric's version of it. And then they say the Stanley version has been out of production for some time, but woodworking teacher Phil Lowe loved it so much that he started making his own version. We offered Phil's excellent burnisher for several years. When he passed away, we lost a great friend and his burnisher. Buy tools from people who know what they're selling you. Not only does Highland know what they're selling you, they know the history of it, and they miss Phil Lowe. I miss Phil Lowe. We all miss Phil Lowe. Heading over to Rockler, Robert Sorby Trac tool rest adjustment collar. It's a stop that goes on the tool rest so that you can repeatably get to a particular height. I've seen them done many other ways before, but this, you get the stop, but then you can still kind of fine tune and dial in that height adjustment. Pretty cool. Robert Sorby Steady Pro tool rest jig. I guess for bowl turning, things like that. Heavy duty turning. This is a heavy duty tool rest. I don't really know much of anything about turning. That's about all I got to say about that. And then they have a really cool looking letter opener tool kit, hardware kit thing. And I also saw a magnifying turning kit. I think this is great to have on hand. If there's a kid coming over to the house, bring him out to the shop, turn a handle for a magnifying glass. And then look at cool stuff with them. Can't get any better than that. And Rockler confused the heck out of me with these photos. I was scrolling through and I thought they were for $170 selling me a 1" by 4" piece of scrap wood, but it turns out it is a 1 foot by 4 foot piece of slab wood. So really nice slabs on Rockler.com right now. The lack of perspective in the photos made me go weird, but I was already weird to begin with. Over on Toolnut.com, Seneca has a lot of bench dogs available now. So if you have a 20 millimeter grid matrix, whatever, blah, 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 MFT thing, here's a great place to get some bench dogs for all of your jigs and your accurate grid sawing. And then this reminded me, I hadn't been to Seneca.com in a while, and I saw this, and my mind was blown. Domino trim plate. If you have a Domino, you know what I'm talking about. Dominoes are a little bit too tight, and sometimes they're appropriately too tight, but sometimes they get stuck. And if you're doing dry fits, dry glue ups, which you need to be doing, a Domino has a tendency of getting stuck sometimes, and you're sitting there trying to pull it out with pliers, and you might damage the piece, or at the very least, you're going to damage the Domino. So I have a little pack of Dominoes that I like painstakingly sanded down to use for dry fits. But this Domino trim plate is super cool. You can shave down just a little bit off of all of the different size Dominoes, and you've got your dry fit glue up Dominoes here. Looks like it's manufactured by DFM, being sold by Seneca. That sounds like a match made in heaven to me. Grizzly has a 20 volt 1/4" plunge router, the T33304, for $109.95. If you are in the Grizzly battery ecosystem, this is kind of a no-brainer. It looks like a great little router. Trim router, compact router, palm router, whatever you call them. Nice to have one with a plunge base. Grizzly.com. Oneida is continuing with their Show Us What You Got, Capture Your Collector contest. For the month of March, the category is Best Dust Collection Setup, Personal Shop. Oneida is on the lookout for customers who best exemplify what Oneida Air does best. Shops with clean, innovative, and efficient workshops. So if you fit that bill, and you've got an Oneida dust collector, send in a picture. You can win a benchtop mini dust collector or a Dust Deputy 2.5 Deluxe Dust Cyclone kit or swag. Woodcraft is selling silicone tip protectors for turning tools, and just a little piece of silicone that goes on the tip of your turning tools to keep them and you protected. So if you travel with turning tools a lot, for $6.99, you can get a 2-piece silicone tip protector set. And over to Amazon, affiliate link, but it is legitimately the only place I could find that was selling them. We have a DeWalt Air Filter, kind of new to the market as far as I know, 2-stage, and it is HEPA 11, H11 HEPA, eliminates 95% of 0.3 micron sized particles. So it's got all of the bells and whistles that you would expect out of most dust collectors, timers, and auto off functions. Looks like a nice small package. Looks like if you've got a smaller to medium sized shop, this might be a great buy for you. Taylor Toolworks has a Grace USA 4-ounce brass hammer listed in their new tools section. I don't know if y'all are stocking taytools.com, but everything new is always sold out immediately. I don't know if they just put them up with an inventory of 0, and I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't bother me in the least. It's not confusing to me at all. That to say, small hammers are awesome. I have a little antique tack hammer. If you don't have a little antique tack hammer, this brass 4-ounce hammer, I use this all the time, and I think you would use that all the time. Panarouter in their newsletter announced a Whiteside specialty bit pack, and I reached out to Mac at Panarouter, and he says this is an exclusive deal. Other people probably sell this, but they had some role in selecting these bits. Sounds like their most popular, most talked about bits that people use on a panel router. 1/2-inch upcut, 5/16 upcut, collet adapter, bullnose, flush trim bit. Sounds like a best of Whiteside bit set to me. So head on over to panelrouter.com for more information about that. And adding Peachtree woodworking supply to the pantheon of places I go to look for new things. I saw these Fulton Miter Master corner clamps. These are really cool. I've seen antique versions of them before. Basically, it's a clamp that has little prongs that stick into the side of the workpiece and applies the clamping pressure exactly where you need it across the miter joint like that. They're going to leave small little divots. So for some scenarios, this isn't the most ideal way of clamping up a miter corner, but if those little divots aren't going to bother you, or they're not going to be seen, or you can paint over them, whatever, I've heard that this is like the easiest way of clamping miters in the world. $72 buys you one. So a little pricey to get going if you need 4. And last but certainly not least, Woodpeckers comes in with a stealth miter gauge. $100 for the miter gauge with the fence and the stop. So the stealth miter gauge is a little stop block that folds up and out of the way, and then you flick it out, and there you go. There's your stealth stop block. Pretty cool. I guess that about does it for this episode of Fine Woodworking News. Check the links below to get information on all this stuff. While you're there, check out a Fine Woodworking Unlimited membership and get all of the woodworking information you could possibly need in one place, honestly. And I say that honestly. And it is not curated by an algorithm. Fine Woodworking is what I would consider algorithm-free woodworking. It has nothing to do with best of top 5 uses or whatever. Yes, we have posts like that, but it's because we wanted to make those posts, not because Google told us to, and not because of YouTube engagement numbers. If algorithm-free woodworking sounds like something you might be interested in, you might want to check out a Fine Woodworking Unlimited membership or a subscription to Fine Woodworking magazine. 2 great ways of supporting this show and the podcast and all of the cool stuff that we do, and in return getting the best woodworking content that I truly believe money can buy. As long as there's enough woodworking news, we'll see you next week, and happy woodworking. Be safe.